Okay, it's time to build the stereotypical to-do list, and that's so that I can show you a couple of different ways of editing HTML. Um, so the first one that I'm going to show you, for that to work, I'm going to change this p tag to be UL. So what we want to do is we would like to take user input from the input box and add it into this unordered list of to-do items. So we've created we said we were going to call our function create to do. So let's make that function create to do. And okay, well, what do we want to do? The first thing we need to do is we need to take this item and we need to add it to the output. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather the input. So I'm going to say let user input equal document.get element by ID. The ID I want is new item, and I'm going to grab the value. And then before I forget, I'm going to clear the value. So I'm going to set it equal to nothing. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to take this user input and I want to put it into this UL element. Well, in order to do that, I have to access the UL element. So I'm going to say document.get element by ID, and I'm going to get the output element. And then I'm going to set its inner HTML. So inner HTML refers to this portion right here, that line 58 that appears between the closing tag and the opening tag. So anything that's in between the two tags is inner HTML. So what I'm doing is I'm saying take the HTML that's already there. Right now there's nothing, and add on some HTML. And I'm going to use a template string here, and I'm going to say put in a list item with the user input inside of it. So what I'm saying is gather input from the input box, reset the input box to nothing, and set the inner HTML. So I'm going to come over to my running website and I'm going to type sell death sticks and add the to do. And then I'm going to type go home and then rethink my life. Okay, so these all successfully added. And in fact, if we open up this UL, we can see that there are three list items here: sell death sticks, go home, rethink my life. The reason this is dangerous is someone could come here and type button on click equals alert one, hi, and then I'm going to close out that button. And because we're directly taking what's in the input box and putting it on the page, when I click this, a button has now been added to the page. And when I click it, it runs the JavaScript that was part of that button. So in other words, we've opened up our website to allow just anyone who wants to come in, type their own JavaScript, and have it run on our website, which is really dangerous. We call these cross-site scripting attacks. Um, and it can be really, really dangerous. So I'm going to show you an alternative that you could consider using. And then in a few videos, I'll show you another way of doing this. But the first one is rather than setting the inner HTML, we could change this UL to a p tag. And here, instead of setting inner HTML, we can set .textContent. And what we'll do is we'll just set it equal to the user input. And then let's put a new line. So if we save this and we come back over, we can put hi, hello. Uh-oh, that put them on the same line. Well, maybe it's because we used the JavaScript new line character and we should have used the break character. So let's put the break tag in and see what happens. Hi. Oh, it put the break tag directly in. That's good news because it means if they try and do the button trick, um, it won't put a button. See, it just put the text. So that's not, I mean, it works and our input's definitely clean, but it would be really nice if we could have new line items. So if you want to do that, rather than setting text content, you'll set innerText. And then here, you'll put the break character back. Now we can type our to-do list. Sell death sticks, go home, and it works like we are expecting. And so that's the comparison between innerHTML, text content, and innerText.